And now we're going to talk about the early women's movement. So like I said to you guys previously, we had a little bit of World War II. The women got a chance. They really liked it. They now had a price value to their work. They now felt like they were doing something. They felt accepted and they felt independent. They were now part of society and they were now in the public sphere. And like I said earlier to you guys, then they went back to normal. But what that did was women started to question the expectations in their life by society. They started going, well, why can't I work? Why can't I make money? Why can't I be part of society like this? So this kind of started getting women's minds thinking about these sort of things. So the first group of women that did a lot of this women's rights, their main thing was, the number one thing is women wanted the chance to vote. So once again, by not being allowed to vote, they did not feel like they were part of society. Of course, as you guys know later on in years, to allow the black community to vote, this is the same exact thing. When they were not allowed to vote, by voting, it pretty much says, we don't recognize you as part of society, so thus you aren't part of us. So as I said earlier, women, they started saying, hey, you know what? I want the opportunity for my voice to be heard. I want to make a change. I want to be part of the decisions of our country. But also they had a couple of things that they also were like worried about their reproductive rights, say a little bit about equal pay. And of course, they wanted to talk about how their education opportunities had been denied because of the patriarchal system. So, of course, you know, a lot of society just completely went crazy about this. They're like, no, this is not what you should do. Men listen to you. We respect you. We listen to you. Now go back to the kitchen. You know, you need to focus on getting back inside the house. But don't worry, we respect you. You know, a lot of them were like, you know, it just gave a bad impression of, you know, that's too aggressive. These thoughts are too wild. You shouldn't be doing this. And, you know, why are you trying to question the way it's always been done? This is the way our history is. Why are you trying to question it? So, of course, women got the opportunity. We had some incredible women that were great pioneers for us. And we got the opportunity to vote, thus be acknowledged as a person in our society. So after all this happened, the women's movement really kind of died down a little bit. There hasn't been too much of a big push until pretty recently, you know, but the big movement was to get our voting rights, and things have kind of just trickled in as well through time. But one thing that this whole movement also really did in the leisure section is, number one, it now made women more involved in different things, more physical activities, and more in the society. Secondly, clothing changed. For a very long time, women only wore dresses, and they only made sure everything was completely covered up, made sure they had sweaters on, made sure that they had their shaping corset, because of course we have to focus on that hourglass figure, ladies. And of course we had to make sure we had everything lined up and ready to go. Now, during this time, women were rebelling and wearing pants, and they were also getting out there, and they were wearing more comfortable shoes, they were wearing more comfortable clothes to be able to do these leisure activities. So thanks to these ladies, we now had a change of more comfortable clothing. And of course, the number one thing, it got women out of the house. So women now had an opportunity to be seen in society, to be involved, to see what's going on in the world around them. So this was a great change that it gave women. It gave women opportunity to go leisure activities such as traveling, more competitive horseback riding. Did they want to do different sports? If they wanted to go out and go different, hang out with different groups of people, this now opened up huge doors for women. But of course, need we not forget, you still have the good old boys club and sports. Of course, the baseball was huge, a lot of different sports were huge, and those were activities that men did. It was very much about men's privilege. This is what men always do. This is also very much of a subtle form of male dominance. This is what, this is our thing that we do, and you can come be a spectator, but this is what we men do. So the good old boys club is definitely very alive and well during this time. And you also have this sense of entitlement. This is what we men do, and going to bars is how we hang out, and this is what we are entitled, we are allowed to do. So you still have this going on during this time and things as well. And there's definitely still that there to this day. But one thing is that these leisure opportunities, and another thing that they did that was really, really great was, number one, like I said, physical freedom is a great opportunity. More opportunities for leisure and fun things to do, and it's good for the body. So we definitely, don't worry, ladies, you're going to be fine. You definitely go out there and have some fun and do different things together. So now that we talked a little bit about history, I just want you guys to kind of soak in a lot we talked about. The biggest thing in women's history is number one, how we are to be this ideal woman. We are to have this perfect body, no cuts and bruises. We're supposed to have the perfect hair, the perfect everything. And society has held us to this standard. So leisure activities can hurt us and we can get hurt, by having fun and doing things like this together. Secondly, we have an ideal family. And as the woman being the center of the family, we are required to take care of the families, and that's our top priority, and leisure activities are to be second to that. And that's still in many ways to this day the way it is practiced. It's getting more flexible and things that sort, but it's definitely being looked like that. And of course, the social pressure. We have a lot, even if we have the opportunity, women have the opportunity to go do something, they're okayed by their husband and family to do that, they still have the pressure from society. I get a lot of, oh my gosh, you're going scuba diving this weekend. Who's going to be with your son? What are you going to do? Who's going to be? Trust me, we women, we can find somebody, we can get a babysitter, a family member to help out with our son, with our children, and we women are entitled to have a good time as well. So don't forget, this is a lot of information, a lot of history, and we'll definitely see you guys next week. So as I always say, there's no good or right answer. I just want you guys to learn a lot about this. Thank you guys.